Hi, I'm Corina Wecker, and this is,
Hello, this is Reza.
and we are doing the partner project of an instructional coach and a teacher role play. I am doing scenario 1, where I'm a technology coach that has been tasked with a teacher who is resistant to using technology in his classroom, and Reza is covering.
I would be a resistant teacher,
Okay.
yeah.
So just to start, just to introduce, I'm going to be the instructional coach right now, and he's going to be the teacher who is resistant to technology. Here we go. All right. Hi, Mr. Reza. Thank you so much for meeting with me this morning. I appreciate
My
it, taking the time out of your day. Um,
my pleasure.
I
Um, yeah, I have a lot of problem with technology. You know, I never used technology before. I'm so old. The older I am becoming, the more difficult it is for me to use the technology. And uh, you know that I love to write on the whiteboard, and it makes me feel better rather than going and try too hard for finding to solve the problem with projector and how to connect with the laptop. And there are so many things to do. So what should you? How can you help me to solve this problem?
well, to start with, I would like to say that I wanted to note that implementing technology in your classroom is in no way trying to change what you're already doing. We're not trying to come in and say that you should stop administering your assessments a certain way or doing any activities. So, you're doing great. You're doing so wonderful. We're just here to make it easier for you and make it more engaging for the students. So you've done all the hard work already. And today we were going to talk about assessments, and specifically yeah, another teacher. An example would be Mrs. So-and-so, and she has used Kahoot in her classroom and mentioned that you were curious, but that you were nervous about, the Wi-Fi and the time that it would take. Everything is time, right? We're talking about right
Mhm.
now. You're so very kind for taking the time to sit down and speak with me. But yes, you have all these other we are doing your teaching right now, and then have to create more work for yourself. So I wanted to come here and help you, so that we can get this ball rolling without any like, okay, well, I'll figure this out. I'll do it over the summer. So
Okay.
I wanted to bring up an example of a lesson that Mrs. So-and-so worked on. We worked on together, and I was wondering if you also would be curious about doing this. We can do a Kahoot right now,
Mhm.
and we could just do a fun one to play. Would that be something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, of course. But there is another problem that I always had. I have Windows, but your school is supporting just Macintosh, and all the students have Mac, and I'm not familiar with that. So what is the solution for this? Because there are so many differences between, and I am already got used to of using Windows, not Mac. So what should I do? What
So the wonderful thing about Kahoot is that it's web-based, meaning you don't have to download any program. You can use it on your mobile device. You can use it on any laptop whatsoever, and it's readily available. Plus, there's no Microsoft or Windows or Mac impeding it. Any laptop that has a Wi-Fi connection is good. On that note, yes, you're probably like, okay, well, what if the Wi-Fi is down? I have created with Mrs. So-and-so some unplugged resolutions to this. So let's say we work together right now and we make a Kahoot, and then it comes the day of and you're ready with your class and the Wi-Fi isn't working. We have it set up where we have the Kahoot, well, like printed out, and then the students could just we have one option where they could that some of the answers are like, like a red triangle, or blue square, and they have them and they could lift them. Or if you wanted to be more like you wanted to get data from this, then you could just have them come over to you, maybe one by one, and then just point or pick up the card, like the red triangle, and then you could have your individual data there. Or if you wanted to just do a quick formative assessment, then I suggest the whole class would have their paper, like, okay, this is what the answer is. So that could
Okay.
be a version.
Yeah. Should I make my own questions, or I can use any other questions?
That is a really great question. So again, with time, we're talking about time here. I suggest that we start with the template. So I was hoping that we could look at some geometry templates, and then that way half the work is already done for you. Meaning when I say half, obviously you're going to want to change some questions and some answers to fit you and your classroom. But this way, it's already started. So let's say we find one and it has 20 questions and you're like, that's a long time. We can cut it down to 10, and then we can even do it right now where I could be the student and then you could be the teacher, and you could see how we would set this up.
Okay, great.
Would that be something you're interested in?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me.
So I'm going to be a coach, and you are the resistant principal. Then, okay, let's go. Hello, my name is Reza. I am an ed tech, and I have some experience in educational technology. I would love to help your school with the development of technology. So what is it in your mind, and what do you think about the usage of technology at your school?
Well, obviously, I think about budget and where are we going to, when are we going to be able to find the funds to provide every student with a laptop? So that would be the first thing that I would think about is budget. Yes.
I see, but do you say that even students, they don't have their own laptop, or because for the development of some kind of technology, most of the students require to have their own computer, not only just laptop, but just even a computer at home also will be possible for some improvement on usage of technology. Is that what you?
Yes, I mean, it would also include updated technology to match the speed at which, downloads and the Wi-Fi. And then there's some laptops that need assistance, like the screens are cracked, or, there's some keys missing from kids picking at it or whatever.
Okay.
Is there anything in mind you could help with?
Yeah, there are some LMS or the platform that it can be used without spending a lot of money, and these are for free for a limited number of students. But if the number of students can be expanded, then there must be some payment for that. But for the start, if their budget is the problem, then we can start with the free models. For example, I can suggest those free LMS, like for the limited number of the students, like Microsoft Teams will be available for 300 students without further payment. So that would be one thing, that every collaboration of the students can go through that. Another platform could be like Schoology, not at the level of the school, but at the level of the each teacher can have his own account without payment. So there are so many things that everyone can do. Yeah, so I can offer and introduce a lot of platform that teachers can use, and then I can see what are the feedback they have. Depends on what your school needs. If you need students have technology in the school-wide, or if you need some introduction for your teachers, like a PD or professional development, introducing some PD for specific reasons.
That would be really nice.
Yeah, it depends on your need.
Yes, absolutely. So, because one is if you are, starting with the free and then you want to tier up, it would be great to have some PD to help assist the teachers with starting this new program. That would be something, yes, maybe we would be interested in. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Then it's my pleasure to help, and thank you for having this conversation.
Thank you about it. So I think you did really well. I think you had some really good points. It always is like the best way teachers love is free. That's like the magic word. And then because that's always, I think, the thing. Okay, well, how much is this subscription going to cost me?
Yeah.
That's always something that I deal with. Like I'm talking to teachers and I'm like, oh, this is so great. And they're like, right, but is this just like a 6-month trial? You know what I mean? I don't want to start the kids on something. Like, have you heard of Pear Deck?
No.
It's supposed to it's really fun. You have your slideshow, and then you add Pear Deck in there, and then it can the kids they can see that from their screen. They'll add to the classroom for it or whatever, and you could do questions. You can hey, what does everyone think of this? And you can just start putting questions in there, or you can do auto ones and all these other little fun things, polls. But I'm speaking about obviously the trial version. And that's how they get you, is because you try it, you love it, and then they're like, okay, it's been 30 days or whatever. And now you're back to the free one, which is, you're like, wait. So I've actually had a few teachers who were like, yeah, I completely wasted my time. I liked it so much. I spent all this time on creating it. And then I went back to the basic version and I lost all my work. And I was like, ooh.
You mean you didn't notice at the beginning, well, once you wanted to start,
they don't advertise it, because I checked it out. They just say look at all these premium features, and you're like, this is nice. And so that's just something.
Yeah. That was my I was really worried once I started everything by myself, because nobody told me, for example, Schoology is working well or not. And it was about to start Schoology because just I learned from one of our Teach Now program cohort. And he said that, for example, he used it. And this is a great source. If someone has used it and you want to start, then you are not in a situation that you lose your time. At least somebody has already done that. And that's the trustable source to tell you, hey, I have done this. And that was great experience. And I did it and I loved it. So I can say to everyone that this is how it goes, but it is not school-wide. If you want to keep it as the whole school is using it at the same time, then you have to pay for that. But you actually don't need it, because it provides everything for you while you create your own account.
That's true.
Yeah, but for Class Dojo, I did the same. But I faced some problems with Class Dojo related to sign in and sign out. Most of the students got kicked out for no reason.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. And then they again asked me, hey, send me the QR code. I want to go back to the school, to the class. And for some of my students, I had 2 or 3 Class Dojo classes. Because, for example, one of them, I was a football coach, and I had my football team as a class in Class Dojo as well, and I had my other. So if I had 2 or 3 students at the same time with 2 different classes, then every time they are going to sign in with one class, they will be signed out from the other one. These are the things that you don't know how it will be handled unless you face with that. So
Right.
because of that, then because of that, I just noticed that okay, ClassDojo can be used for the tools because there are really
Right.
beautiful tools.
I see what you're saying. So it's like, it's good if you have your class, like your 30 students or whatever, but if your student is moving around to different teachers, and
yeah,
we definitely, I mean, we'd have to look into that for sure, because I see how you say they're getting kicked out, and that would that would stop me from doing it, because I have multiple classes. I could see that. Yeah.